Are you taking photographs of
The building area, yeah.
So this is a private area.
But it's
so
publicly accessible.
This is a public accessible, but the buildings are private. So
Okay, so if it's publicly accessible and I can see the buildings, I can take photographs of it. Buildings don't have privacy rights.
But this area is private area.
But it's publicly accessible. Unless you don't want people going on there, then it would have to be barriered off.
Yes.
And at the moment it's not barriered off, so it's publicly accessible, so that means it's a public right of way.
Yeah, but this whole estate is private.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's privately owned, but it's open to the public. There's no cut off areas like down there. Have you noticed I've not gone past there because there's a clear barrier there telling me that I can't go there. There's nothing there, so that would allow me to take photographs as it's a public space.
But you can't take pictures of the buildings.
Why not?
This is a private because of the security.
But if it's open, but that's what I'm saying. If it's open to the public, it's deemed as a public space. Therefore, you can take photographs in a public space. That's literally what the law states. So if you're in a public area like that road there,
yeah, you can take it from that area
because that's publicly accessible. Right.
That's private.
So
but what I'm saying is, the estate is private. So.
But it's publicly accessible. The minute that you allow the public onto that land.
No, this is a private area.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying to you. If it was barriered off, then I couldn't take photos. I couldn't go on there and do it. But because it's not barriered off and it's open to the public, that's an invitation to the public to come on. So it's deemed as a public space.
Yeah, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, you shouldn't be taking pictures of the building.
So then they should gate it off and stop the public from going in there.
No, that's not what.
No, that's what the law states. That's exactly what the law is.
No, the law says that you can take pictures from the
yeah.
That's the Camden area.
Because it's a public space.
Yeah, and it's not. This is a private space.
No, this is a public. Look, so he's just driven through there.
Yeah, the public can use it.
So there you go. So that's what I'm saying to you. So under the Criminal Justice Act 1972. Section 33 it's deemed as a public space. So when it's deemed as a public space, under the definition of the law, this is deemed as a public space because it's open to the public. If you don't want it to be photographed, then you would actually block it off, which would then stop people's access. The minute that you allow access on there, that's deemed as a public space.
But actually, you're not allowed to take in this.
But you are, because it's a public space. I'm going back to literally what the law states. The law is very black and white in this country. There's no law that stops you from taking photographs. It's in public spaces that you can take photographs and no one has a right to privacy. This is deemed as a public space. Look, there's people walking through now.
It's for public space, but it's only for...
So the public can't just walk down there because there's a clear barrier that indicates that you're not welcome down there.
The thing is, this area has got...
Okay, well, I'm going to continue. I'm going to politely decline your request. Thank you for being polite, though. I appreciate it. You alright?
My colleagues?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you doing? May I ask?
Just filming the area. Quite an interesting place.
Quite an interesting place. Okay. Just to make you aware, we are quite, how do I say, alert by hazards. Obviously, we've got a lot of camera systems and stuff.
Yeah.
You got a professional camera with you, so
Yeah.
if you could just be mindful of that and not, film as much as you are.
Okay, well, it's a public space, so I'm allowed to film.
Public right of access.
Yeah. So
With private property, nonetheless.
with private property, yeah, but it's still publicly accessible.
Right of access, yes.
Publicly accessible.
Yeah. So we just ask that you just respect.
So
and
what? But you're asking me not to film as much. That seems like
No. Obviously, okay. You're taking pictures of that. That's okay. What were you taking a picture of before?
just the buildings and the reflection.
Buildings.
And the reflections.
Alright.
So it wouldn't matter what I'm taking pictures of because it's a public space.
It would, because if you're taking a picture of that,
Which
for
is
example,
legal. It's legal.
Yeah, but that's obviously as part of our counter-terrorism.
Yeah.
We wouldn't necessarily want you to be doing that, so we would approach you and tell you to please not do that.
Okay, that, for whatever you just pointed out to me in that vicinity, didn't even know it was there.
Okay.
So maybe
Well,
not point that out to people.
No, but obviously it's visible.
as I said, it is a public space. There's publicly accessible.
Yes.
So you know the
Public
Criminal
right
Justice Act,
of
yeah?
access.
You know the Criminal Justice Act?
Enlighten me.
1972, section 33. If it's
Okay.
open to the public, it's deemed as a public space.
Okay.
Therefore, nobody can stop you from filming, even if it is private lands. The minute that you open it up, that's
So you're telling
literally
me
that.
You can walk in that
I can't walk in.
residence?
No, because that's different. This is
But-
public.
but
This is
those-
this is not publicly accessible though.
Oh, is it?
This is not publicly. It's a publicly accessible area. So technically, I could walk up to where those barriers are and take photos if I wanted to.
If you wanted to.
When the security guard asked me to leave,
Yeah.
I could have two options. One, which is refuse, which then it becomes civil trespass.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So then that's when the police can't even get involved because it's a civil matter.
So,
Or I just leave that area because you've asked me to leave that area.
Okay.
It's very simple. But when you have
are
an area
like
like
a
this,
professional photographer?
I'm a
or-
professional photographer, but I get accosted a lot by security that tell me that I can and can't film. So obviously I learn where I can and can't take photographs from.
Right,
So it's
right.
like I said, these gentlemen that have just walked past, it's publicly accessible to them.
Yeah,
It's
of
open
course,
to the
of
public, so
course.
therefore you can film and photograph, and there wouldn't be anything stopping
So
that.
then which behaviours do we rise or flag up, or which behaviours do we?
I would say anyone taking photos of your CCTV
Which is
entry
what I was trying
points
to
and
say,
stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
But I think if it was clearly that I was being watched, I haven't actually done that. I've taken a photo of a statue, which I would say is there
And
for
then
people
the
to take
building and
photos of,
reflections.
and the building and the reflections.
All right.
Maybe questionable when I was around the garage area. That could have been questionable, but everything else around here, if, as I said, if it's open to the public, like technically there, I personally wouldn't go in that section even if I
Because of
wanted
the
to,
barriers.
because the barrier, that's a clear
My man.
indication that's telling me that I'm not welcome there, so therefore don't go there.
You do this as a.
Yes, this is I'm a hobby photographist. I'm a professional photographist. I also do auditing, which this is kind of a part of an audit. So yeah, where we go to buildings and we highlight people telling us off for thingy, and I highlight people's professionalism, which yours has been outstanding. You know, the last time I was here, I had to go out very aggressively,
Yeah.
and it didn't look good. But I mean, I'll let my YouTube subscribers decide whether it's a pass or a
YouTube's
fail.
involved.
Yeah. This is definitely probably going to be for me, I would say it's a questionable pass, but you haven't
Okay.
come up and actually told me I can't film. You've actually listened and engaged,
Okay.
which is actually refreshing.
Oh.
So it means I'll leave you
That's
alone
good.
for 6
Yeah,
months.
I'll leave you alone as well for.
But it's all good, man. Happy TV, check it out. Auditing, it's a big movement now. It's a big movement. This is where a lot of people will go to these publicly accessible places, but we know that they're private land. And
Oh, okay.
the realistic outcome that I would really like, and I would like to go back to, is actually just being left alone when I'm out filming and photographing.
I mean,
it doesn't
out
happen
of
these
uniform,
days.
I would like certain things as well, but hey,
Yeah, it's
you know.
life, innit?
Yeah.
Can I shake your hand?
Yeah, sure, of course,
Man,
no
Jay,
worries.
nice to meet
Jay,
you.
no worries.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
You too. Well guys, I'll let you decide that one.